Wang here with another Bargaineering Videocast, and today I wanted to talk about net worth. Net worth is a really popular topic among personal finance bloggers, and it's certainly one that I've talked about in the past, but not something that I've focused on a lot recently. And the reason that I don't focus a lot on net worth as a number is because I don't think it adds much value as a number alone. And sometimes we get a little caught up in stats and figures and things like that we don't really appreciate what they bring. So I'm going to talk about how I calculate net worth, our net worth in our household, and then I'll discuss why I think it's valuable to do this as an exercise and less focusing on the number. So at a very basic level, everybody does this the same way. Your net worth is your assets minus your liabilities, right? So behind me, I listed out some examples of assets, some examples of liabilities. What I like to do is I like to take all these numbers and put it in an Excel spreadsheet. And the reason is because you can do some other fun calculations with it, and because it's secure, because it's on my home PC. So we start with your assets, then you break them out into liquid and illiquid assets. Liquid assets, in my mind, and you can change this to however you feel is best and most intuitive to you, is anything liquid is I can get my hands on it within a week and it won't cause me a significant amount of pain, financially or emotionally. So what falls into that category? Savings, CDs, taxable investments, and I understand CDs, if you close them before the maturity, you lose either 3 months or 6 months of interest, right? Not huge pain when you're talking single digit interest rates. Taxable investments, those are in your brokerage account. So if you have a couple stocks, then you can sell those for the transaction cost. So you can get them all within a week. So if stuff really hits the fan, you can get to it real quick. Illiquid, those are the things that will either cause you great pain or come at an extreme cost. So I could sell my car, I could sell our house, I could tap into our retirement accounts, but those are financially expensive. A house, minimum, we're talking 5-6% in realtor fees plus time. I mean, houses are on the market for a lot longer these days. Retirement accounts, that you can get your money out. I can tap our 401ks and on our rollover IRAs, but it'll cost us our marginal tax rate plus a 10% penalty, and I'm going to really have to need that money before I'm going to touch that. So that's why it falls into the liquid. I want to know it's there, but it's illiquid. It's hard to get to. It's painful. Then you subtract out your liabilities. This primarily are all your debts. So for us, it's a mortgage. I have a student loan. You may have a car loan. The one thing I don't include on this list, and this is partly because I don't think it adds value for us personally, is that we don't put in credit card debt. Now, to be 100% accurate, to get a really good picture of your net worth, you need credit card debt. Because there's a little flow period where I'll owe Citi $1,000, or I'll owe American Express $1,000, and I'll still have that cash in my bank. But that's not really my cash, because a couple days afterwards, I'm paying these guys out, because I'm not carrying a balance on these cards. So for accurate net worth, I might put that in. But as I'll go into later, that only affects the number and not really the meaning behind why we collect net worth. So after all that, assets minus liabilities equals net worth, you're done. We put this in an Excel spreadsheet. I hit it every month. I typically do it right after I get the email that my mortgage company says they've deducted the mortgage payment. And that's because sometimes it falls on the second, third, whatever the business days are. And I want to do that because that's my largest payment each month. So I want to make sure that I keep that accurate. Now, the real value in the net worth, why we do it, why I spend the time every month to track it, because it gives us a sense of progress. So many times we work so hard and we look at a couple accounts and we don't feel like we get progress. By tracking your net worth, even if it goes up by $50, $10, $100, seeing that progress, much like Dave Ramsey's debt snowball where you're paying down a little bit of debt, that progress will push you to work harder. At least it pushes me to work harder. The other thing is that by tracking it every month, we can put down notes of the things that we've done. And that's crucial because that will educate us on what's a good behavior and what's a bad behavior as reflected in our net worth. So that explanation will put everything into perspective. It'll put things into context. So if an account suddenly drops from, $5,000 to zero, if it's a 401k, maybe I'm freaking out. The stock market collapsed. But I have a note in there that says I rolled it over. No big deal. All right, everything's good. I don't have to worry about it. And a few months later I see that, because I rolled it over, I've consolidated some fees. There's one more account that I don't have to worry about because it's closed. It's now all consolidated. And these are all things that you'll see a history of in your net worth if you're doing it every month. Now, the reason why we don't focus on the number, the number's important. It's obviously very important because it's your net worth. It gives you a sense of where you stand. But it alone, there's not much you can do with it. Let's say I have a $5 million net worth. That doesn't help me. If I talk with friends, first of all, they don't care. Whether I have 10,000, 10 million, what difference is it to them? Because they care about their situation, much like I only care about my situation. So the value is in knowing how it changes, and what we can talk about isn't the net worth number, but how it changes. The things that we did that helped, the things that we did that hurt. And in the end, everybody benefits because that's an education. That's no longer just focusing on a number and comparing, I got a better house, I got a better car, my kids are smarter, they're prettier than yours, your kids are hideous, stuff like that. No one ever really cares about. So, when you do your net worth, it's important to do it consistently, every month or every 3 months, however frequency you want to do it. And it's another thing that, for example, I do all the collection, but then I talk about it with my wife. And it gives us, a 1 month check-in to see, okay, this is what our stuff's at, this is how things have changed, this is how we're doing, we're making progress, everything's good. And if you're in a relationship like that where you're sharing finances, then it's a good time to just have a little brief 10-minute, 15-minute check-in so everyone knows where you're at. And see, none of that relies on the number. So don't focus on the calculation. Just do something, do it consistently, and I think in the end you'll find that it's very valuable. Alright, let me know what you think of this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day. Bye.